All right, this is Ubaid on behalf of Electronics, and in this video, we'll be talking about movement along the curve versus the shift of the curve itself. Okay, when it comes to supply and demand. Okay, so when it comes to demand, and we'll focus on demand in this video, when it comes to demand, okay, the movement along the curve has to deal with price. Okay, so let's say this is your price, this is your quantity, this is your demand curve. Okay, as you move along the curve, okay, there is a movement along the curve, right? And this has to do with price. Okay, so as the price goes down, all other things being equal, considering ceteris paribus, okay, there's movement along the curve because of price. As price goes down, your quantity demanded goes up, right? People are able to buy more. Okay, people are able to spend more. Okay, their purchasing power goes up. Okay, so this is basically movement along the curve. On the other side, you have your shift of the curve itself. Okay, so this is movement along the curve. Okay, now on the other side, you have the shift of the curve itself. So when it comes to the shift of the curve, okay, you have the curve shifting to the right, for example, okay, or the curve shifting to the left. All right. So this is when the demand goes up, okay, and this one over here, this is when the demand goes down. Okay, so either the demand goes up or the demand goes down. If the demand goes up, okay, the curve will shift to the right. If the demand goes down, the curve will shift to the left. All right. Now, some of the factors that impact your demand include, but not limited to, the size of the population. Okay, so size of the population. Okay, and basically what happens is as the population goes up, your demand goes up. Okay, it goes up in terms of population. Okay, so the age group, okay, or any other subcategories of the population itself, okay, that you have to consider when it comes to figuring out whether the demand will go up or down. Okay, so that would be the size of the population as well as the demographics. Okay, so let me write this down. Demographics of the population. And the demographics has to do with things like education, it has to do with age, okay, it has to do with other factors. Okay, so again, same story. All right, now apart from the size of the population, you also have the taste and preference of the population. Okay, so taste and preference. So for example, okay, one person may have a taste for a muscle car that makes a lot of noise. Okay, while the other may have a taste for something quieter, okay, for his or her commute. Okay, so it has to do with taste or preference. So the more of the population, okay, that prefers to buy your product, okay, and let's assume that this is a normal or luxury good, okay, the higher the demand. Okay, so the higher the taste, okay, the higher the demand. All right. And what I mean by normal and luxury good is when the income of an individual goes up, okay, leading to more purchasing power, usually individuals go for higher quality goods, right? For most people. unless obviously you're trying to save money. All right. But you go for higher quality goods. So as the taste for a good goes up, the demand for that good goes up. Okay. As the preference for that good goes up, the demand for that good goes up. All right. So again, some people may prefer muscle cars while others may prefer quieter vehicles. All right. So all has to do with taste and preference. All right. Now, apart from that, okay, you do have other factors that impact, okay, the demand of a product. Okay. And the other factor, okay, since I talked about inferior and normal goods, this is your income. All right. So if the income of your consumer population goes up, okay, obviously the demand for that product will go up. So as income goes up, the demand for that product will go up. Okay, as income goes down, the demand for that product will go down, right? Because obviously, if you need to buy that product, you need to have money in your bank to buy the product. All right. Now, apart from income, you also have things like substitute and complementary goods. Okay. So we're talking about similar goods, especially true in an oligopoly. Okay. So similar goods. Okay. Such as your substitutes and complementary goods. All right, so one such example would be soda drinks. Okay, if you have a soda drink that tastes the same, that looks the same, okay, and there's not much of a difference apart from things like the price, okay, we know that if the price of your good goes up, okay, the substitute products will be able to sell more. Okay, why? Because their price is lower than yours, as a result of which their demand, okay, for their good is more than yours. Okay, so substitute products have more of an inverse relationship. Okay, so as the demand for your product goes up, the demand for substitute products will go down. As the demand for your product goes down, the demand for substitute products will go up. Okay, and again, the reason why is because of the price factor. Okay, considering all other things being equal, ceteris paribus, we know that the demand, okay, is basically um, a dependent variable. Okay, when it comes to price, your price is an independent variable, and price will impact demand. Okay, as a result of which, okay, we also have complementary goods. Okay, now complementary goods are goods that go hand in hand. All right, so for example, if you buy a PlayStation, you also buy a controller, okay, that goes with it. Okay, you may decide to buy the controller from the same supplier, or you may go ahead and buy it off Amazon. All right. However, we know that as the demand for PlayStation goes up, the demand for its controller will go up as well. And that's an example of a complementary good. Okay, so we know as the demand for a certain product goes up, the demand for its complementary will go up as well. Okay, so this is directly proportional compared to a substitute product that's inversely proportional. All right, so as the demand for a complementary product goes up, okay, or goes down in this case, okay, the demand for the other product will go down as well. Okay, so basically, going back to your PlayStation, as the demand for the PlayStation goes down, okay, the demand for the controller will go down as well. Because obviously, without the PlayStation, there's no use for the controller, right? The controller goes along with the PlayStation. All right, so these are all the factors that impact your demand apart from the price. Okay, so apart from that, this is Obeyed on behalf of electronics. Have yourself a great day.